Hello everybody, Silverpicker here, and today's video is a really cool one because we are doing a collaboration with a brand new awesome channel. And this channel is not a coins channel primarily, it's not a precious metals channel primarily. He does have some coin content on there and he is a numismatist for sure, but his channel is actually more about Magic the Gathering cards. Now, you may have seen some of my videos about Magic the Gathering cards. They are definitely investable assets. They are really great collectibles, and as you know, the collectibles market is absolutely exploding. So I am actually doing a trade with him where I am trading him a bunch of gold and silver and coins for some really high-end investment-grade Magic the Gathering cards. Now, I already know some of you keyboard warriors are already going to start typing away, clack, 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 about how nuts I am, how I'm an insane person, and, well, maybe I am, right? I'm trading gold and silver, you know, hard money that has been seen as money and a means of exchange and storage of wealth for thousands of years for some cardboard with ink on it. But, you know, I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm obviously not trading away a ton of stuff. It's about $450 worth of coins, gold, silver, and all that kind of stuff. You can see I've got a little piece of gold there. We've got a graded Morgan. We've got some Israeli, Canadian, and American bullion, as well as some other interesting pieces over here. And I did write him a nice little letter with this card. And I'm going to be sending this off for him. And in exchange, he sent me this. I have no idea what it is. Now, if you want an in-depth view of these coins and to see some of the other stuff that I'm sending him, you gotta check out his channel. It's called Dual Brain MTG. Obviously, it's linked below. His name's Ed, and he is a wealth of information about collectibles, about Magic the Gathering, about buying and selling and investing in high-end collectibles like Magic the Gathering, and he also has a couple videos about his graded coin collection, specifically focused on toned coins, and I'm going to link that below as well.
I got some cool coins to show you.
I collected coins on and off throughout the years. Actually, I was a coin collector first before I became a Magic collector.
Anyway, if you want to see more about the coins, you're going to have to check out his channel. I highly recommend you do because he is going to be huge. Right now, he has under 1,000 subscribers. I would love for us to try and get him over that hump. So go over to his channel, hit subscribe. You won't regret it. Trust me on this. He is the real deal, and I really hope to be able to help grow his channel. So I'm going to send him these. You guys can see a more in-depth view on his channel. But what we're really here for is this guy. Let's crack her open and see what we got. Now, he knows that I'm interested in getting more into investing in Magic the Gathering cards, but what's fun about Magic is that it's also a game that I play, and I asked him, you know, just put in old school cards that are going to be nostalgic for me, that I will enjoy investing in, but also might enjoy playing and will certainly enjoy looking at. Now I see there's one graded card, and that we're going to save till the end. I don't know what it is. I saw that it's an 8.5 grade, which is very good. It's my first graded Magic card, and everything else, let's just take a look-see. We'll go one by one and see what we got. Now, in terms of investing in Magic cards, right, there's a lot to learn. So if you're not already familiar with the game, then first off, I think you should learn because it's an awesome game. I play every single week. It's so much fun. But also, what you're going to want to do is learn about what makes a Magic card rare and what makes one valuable. And it's true across a lot of collectibles, right? Part of it is whether or not a card has been printed many times, right? Is it something that's already out there and that you can get very easily? Or is it one that is not as easily to get? If it's old, then getting them in good condition is less likely, but I'll continue more about that in a little bit. But for now, let's take a look at the first card. Oh, wow. So look at that. So this is a foil. I believe this is the alternate sort of anime style art. This is from the set War of the Spark. It's a foil Planeswalker card. This is not what I would describe as super investable, although Ed might disagree with me, because this is a newer card. The card is reprintable. Now, one of the other things that's important to know about Magic cards and investing in them is Wizards of the Coast, the producer of the game, has a reprint policy called the reserved list. Now, the reprint policy means that in subsequent sets, you know, Magic cards come out every few months in a new set with new cards, but they also reprint some of the golden oldies, some of the real staples of the game. And they can reprint a card whenever they want, except for what's on the reserved list. and those cards can never be reprinted again, and whatever's out there is out there, and that is it. And those are the most investable cards. However, JewelBrain MTG has talked about in his channel what he calls the pseudo-reserved list. And basically what that means are cards that they're unlikely to print again in the future. And I think this was one of the ones that might fall into that list. If not, it's still certainly a valuable card. I have to check out which one because this one's in Japanese. But basically, in Japan, for War of the Spark, for that set, you can see there's a little set symbol there. That means it's from the set War of the Spark. For that set, what they did is they did alternate art. They did really, really nice cards. And those were only available in the Japanese cards. So that is a really, really cool one. I don't have anything like that. So let's talk a little bit more about the reprint policy, about reserved list, and let's see what the next card is. Wow, there we go. So this is called Null Rod. It's from a set called Weatherlight, and this is in fantastic condition. Absolutely fantastic condition. Players cannot play any artifact abilities requiring an activation cost. Now, I'm going to put a ticker down there and show you what the values of these cards are, because these are absolutely in fantastic, fantastic condition, like near mint plus condition. So you'll see what the value is. As I said, I sent over $450 worth of gold, silver, coins, all that kind of stuff. I'll keep it in frame for a little bit, but you'll have to go over to his channel, like I said, to see more. But this is an example of a card that's on the reserved list. So this card, Null Rod, can never be reprinted again in any set, in any form whatsoever. So all of the cards that are called Null Rod that are out there in the world are all that there will ever be. So I have one of these. So these cards on the reserve list have consistently gone up in value. And you can see, I mean, when I was a kid and this card was out, I mean, this was not an expensive card. But over the years, it has gone up, and people really do invest in these reserve list cards. The game is really strong, the player base is really strong, and for a long time, Magic the Gathering ain't going anywhere. So it's a really, really interesting alternative investment, and it's one that you can actually enjoy and play with. It's not just something that, sits in a safety deposit box. Wow, this is a nice one, Lotus Veil. So another thing that Ed talks about on his channel a lot is buying what he calls real estate. Now, in the game of Magic, it's a resource management game, essentially, right? You have a limited number of resources, and you can use those resources to play spells, to summon creatures, and do all sorts of other cool things in this fantasy card game. And all of the resources, called mana, are produced by lands, or mostly produced by lands. You can see the card type over here says land. So what Ed always says is that you want to invest in real estate in the Magic the Gathering universe just like you do in real life, or as we see now in the metaverse too. So lands can be used in almost any deck across any format of the game. Really, like all decks need land to some degree. And the most popular formats of play, there's a lot of different ways to play the game, including what's called Commander. They use lands, and they use all sorts of interesting lands like this one. So this one says, when Lotus Veil comes into play, sacrifice 2 untapped lands or bury Lotus Veil, add 3 mana of any one color to your mana pool. So basically what this does is it turns 3 different lands into one and gives you more flexibility about how to use them. And this is on the reserve list, never will be reprinted again. And this is one that I'm actually going to use in my cube. For those of you who are Magic the Gathering players, you know what I'm talking about, but cube is basically a way of turning your collection of cards, your investment, into a usable, self-contained game. And this will definitely go in there. Next up, Donate. This is a classic card. This is a very cool one. This is what we call a hate card. It says target player gains control of target permanent you control. So basically, normally you want to steal other people's cards in the game, but in this case, you're actually giving up one of yours, which is an unusual thing to do. But if you have a card in play that has a really big downside, with this card, you can give it to your player, right? So you've sucked out all the utility of card X, Y, or Z, and now it's only left with the negative downside, and you ship that off to your opponent. And I'm pretty sure that's reserved list as well. All right, we've got a bunch more cards. Man, Ed, you did good here. You really sent me a whole bunch of stuff. All right, next up. Wow, Mind Twist. That is an awesome card. So you can see the design of this card is very different from this one. You can see in the bottom here, it has the artist's name and it's centered and it's in small text. Here the artist's name is in large text. It's got a white border instead of a black border. This card is from the revised set, and that's one of the first sets that came out. There was Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, and then Revised for the core sets. And this card is another hate card. It makes your opponent discard cards from their hand, leaving them with nothing to do while you continue to play the game and destroy them. Really cool card. I actually have a copy of this, but this one's in much better shape, so I'm going to swap mine out with this for my cube. The cube, by the way, is almost like a typeset, right? You can compare the cube and the typeset, which is my favorite type of collecting. You have one of each card in your cube, and it basically turns it into your own little limited play environment, almost like a board game. It turns a collectible card game into a board game, but I use only the most powerful and valuable cards. So my whole collection / investment is contained within my cube. Now, if you guys do play Magic the Gathering, I know there is a big crossover between Magic cards and just collectibles in general and coin collecting. So if you do, let me know in the comments if you'd want to see a video where I show off my entire cube in depth and show you my $10,000+ Magic the Gathering collection. Next up, Nanoweb. I actually don't remember this card, which is unusual for a card from this era. Whenever any land target opponent controls is tapped for mana, tap all lands he or she controls that can produce mana of that land that can produce. So this is also another hate card. Man, I see the theme. I really like that. Ed, you did good. You did good. All right, next up, Brand. This is from Urza's Saga. And it says, gain control of all permanents you own. Oh, that's interesting that he gave me this one and donate. Because remember I said, when you donate a card, you're giving up your junky card and making the opponent take all of the downside. Well, sometimes opponents can steal good cards from you, and this allows you to get them back. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what the next one is. Fear. Fear, very cool. So this, I don't believe, it says enchanted creature can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures. This one is a foil card. So this one is not a reserve list card, but it is what's called, we call like an old school foil, right? So they have foil cards, just like I'm sure you've seen in Pokemon and every other game, they have holographic cards, but Magic didn't introduce those until way, way late in the game. I believe actually until 7th edition. You see the little 7. So I believe it came out in 7th edition. So this is one of the earliest foil cards there were, and back in the day it was just the border that was foil with a little star. Now they have all sorts of different types of foiling, and you can see on this one I showed you, like, this one's a foil card as well, but the whole picture is holographic, and they've really come a long way. But back in the day we were content and super excited just about those little tiny stars. I actually remember being upset, and my cousin and I were saying, oh, they're turning the game into Pokemon. But I think we've all gotten over that. Foil's pretty awesome. Next up, Mana Vortex from the Dark. The Dark is one of the 4 Horsemen set, as we call them. We've got a lot of nicknames, I'm realizing, in the Magic the Gathering world. The 4 Horsemen are the 4 first expansion sets that came out after Alpha, Beta, and Unlimited. And this is one of them. And the Dark is usually seen as sort of like, the ugly stepchild of the 4 Horsemen. It has the fewest valuable cards, the fewest iconic cards, but it does have some nice valuable stuff. And this one is in fantastic condition. I'm assuming that this is on the reserve list. I don't have the entire reserve list memorized by heart, but I believe that one is. I believe all the rares from the 4 Horsemen set are on the reserve list. And last but not least, before we get to this awesome graded card, which will be my first graded card, is Phyrexian Devourer. Very cool. This is indeed on the reserve list. I know that for sure because back in the day, I actually invested in a bunch of sealed Magic the Gathering product. I bought a bunch of packs, unopened packs from back in Magic's day, and I sold most of them for a really nice profit, but there were a couple I treated myself to opening, and I actually got one of these in that pack, and this is from the Alliances set, and it is on the reserved list, and it's worth a couple bucks, not too much, but still really awesome. So that is awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 10 awesome Magic cards here. And now for the piece de resistance, the final card in this set that Dual Brain MTG very generously traded with me and offered me this cool deal. Oh, I'm so excited. I've never had a graded Magic card before. And I think that that is the way to go when you're talking about investable Magic cards. So, what did I get? Oh my gosh. Oh my god. This is legit a super iconic and valuable card. I didn't even tell him what my favorite cards are, but artifacts have always been my favorite card. That's a card type, artifact creature. This is a super, super cool card. It allows for so many awesome shenanigans in different decks. It's so much fun, and it is super rare. And I actually have a copy of this, but obviously raw. And I used to have this in foil, and would be a very old school valuable foil. I sold it online because it didn't make sense for me to hold on to it because it was in kind of really, really rough condition. And I was able to sell it and buy another copy of Metalworker that I have in my cube, as well as a bunch of other cards for my cube so I could enjoy them. But having this as a graded investable card is super cool. I am very happy to have that. That's an 8.5. This is a BGS, so Beckett Grading Services, I believe. Yeah, Beckett Grading Services. 8.5, and it has a 9 on centering, a 9 on edges, 8.5 on surface, and 8.5 on corners. I think that is awesome, and I think the centering matters a heck of a lot more when it comes to eye appeal than any of the other stuff, because this looks like a spectacular card. Like, the edges and the centering are both really, really perfect, and to me, this looks, just at arm's length, at a little quick glance, it looks like a spectacular card, and it really is. So this is really awesome. I am going to be adding this to my sort of alternative investment stack, and I'm going to be using a bunch of these in my Magic typeset, as we'll call it, for this video, or my cube. This will be going in my cube, and this will be replacing a card in my cube, and this will also be going in my cube. And the rest I will either hold on to for investment, or I'll end up retrading those. And that's how it goes with grab bags. You keep what you want, you get excited about it, exposes you to all sorts of things that you wouldn't normally have or buy on your own, and then you can trade away the stuff that you don't want for your own stack or collection. Anyway, I know this was a different video. I know it was a big departure from the regular numismatic stuff, but I really hope you enjoyed it. I really, really recommend you go check out Dual Brain MTG and give him a subscribe. He is awesome. He's a wealth of information, and I really want to see his channel succeed. And by the way, I reached out to him about this. He's a small channel, and I reached out to him about this because I was so enamored with the way he has built his channel and the information that he shares, and I just want to see him succeed. So I had a great time. Ed, thank you so much for this. I really can't wait to get this out to you. I hope you enjoy, and I've got a lot more awesome videos like this. I make videos about coin collecting, precious metals investing, personal finance, and other videos like this about alternative investments. And if you want to see more, you best hit that big old red subscribe button. And hey, do me that ultimate YouTube solid of hitting the like button. It helps me so much, and it only just takes you 1 second. So if you like the video, please do that. And I have a lot more stuff coming down the pike, so stay tuned, and until then, Silverpicker out. A huge, huge thank you to all of my wonderful patrons. You guys rock. I have so much fun with you guys in the Discord, and we are growing, which is awesome. So if you want to be part of this growing mass of Patreon supporters, the links are below, and I can't wait to meet you in the Discord.